PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X. Ladies and gentlemen, by this holiday of 2020, we have officially now made it into the 9th generation. It only took 7 years. 7 years? Yeah. Oh my god, it's already been 7 years. Holy shit, I was in 6th grade when this all started. Now officially that most of the prices have been either leaked or officially revealed. All the possible versions are being out. All possible games that are going to be out at release are coming out. Even future details of what's going to be happening for the next few years. Even from a possible console from Nintendo. And I thought I finally was up to date with the Switch. Officially in about a month and a half from now, we will officially now been in the 9th generation. Old 8th generation console, my beautiful baby, the PS4, this little guy finally gets to take a break in the retirement home and get its well-earned rest. 7 years. Not so bad. By the way, I got a new little cat. You guys want to see him? It's a little kitten. Call him Diego. Hi, Diego. Do you have to bite my finger even on camera? Like I said, it's so crazy to think that this all really started now about 7 years ago when I was still in 6th grade. I was a middle school boy when this all started. Specifically, I'd even say, yeah, no, it wasn't just middle school. I was already about to graduate from 5th grade. God, when I left elementary school. And the PS4 was the first one I remember to get announced. I believe it was either late March or early April of 2013 when the official PS4 launch came out. And we didn't even, I think, even have a pricing. We were just so mind blown that, I mean, for so many years, to start with, people forget that the 7th generation itself of consoles was, to this date, I think one of the longest generations that have ever happened in gaming history. We're so used to the standard traditional 5-year generation that happened ever since, I believe it was the NES that started that trend, where it took 5 years from 1985 to go to 1991's SNES or Super Nintendo. So after that, it was just expected every other generation of consoles would just have the 5-year cycle, get rid of and use up all the juice that those consoles have, and then move on to the next one. PS3 and 360 and even the Wii just apparently had so much potential in them that they decided, why don't we just take a few more years? Let's just fuck around a little more. Let's see what else we can do. And it seemed that the 8th generation couldn't catch that break either. These guys just refuse to die now. But you know what? I love every single one of them. And especially the 8th generation was definitely a really special one in my heart because it was the first time I was actually up to date. And then with that, the PlayStation 4 became the first time I was ever up to date with the generation. I couldn't just play with my friends, I was playing all the brand new games with my friends. So I was playing at first, which was the biggest hype game of that time, because the biggest new hype movie of the whole decade was about to come out, The Force Awakens. So I finally got my hands on Battlefront, and then Black Ops 3 came out. What a shit show that was soon to come. Then incredible other games that years later would come down to, such as one of my favorites, Uncharted 4, or even got to try out the older games I didn't get experience, like Infamous Second Son, Wolfenstein, that would soon become like some of my favorite games of the entire decade. And then also, not to mention, possibly one of the greatest pieces of art that were made of the entire decade. Naughty Dog's masterpiece, The Last of Us. I finally got to play the remastered on the PS4, and I actually recently finished it about a few months ago. If you all remember seeing that video that I uploaded on my channel, that was actually, I think, one of the first times I played that game in like years. I think specifically like, 3 to 4 years? I'm just very slow with stuff, man. I'm not even getting started in all the third-party games I played for endless hours with my friends that the PS4 definitely had. I already mentioned Battlefront to start with, though, yes, admittedly, the Battlefront series on the PS4 and in the 8th generation as a whole has really just been a whole entire shit show of itself with such massive disappointments. I've spent a quite few amount of hours on this one, and especially the second one. But if you want to go into ones that I actually enjoyed and played plenty of joyful hours with, we can start with Battlefield 1. Y'all remember that masterpiece? And then there's GTA 5, that is probably the one that's going to take the crown of them all. And yes, I must admit, as much as I hate to admit this, Black Ops 3, even though it just became an absolute disappointment for me as the years went by, I still spend plenty of hours playing Zombies Chronicles. Only because it's the old maps. That's it. And it just was like that for the last 7 years. Nothing but incredible experiences, incredible memories, just even sometimes just going on the lobby for hours and talking to friends, fucking making YouTube videos. I mean, how much do I owe Sony for the Share Factory application? Is it the greatest editing software of all time? No. Is it one of the easiest editing softwares of all time? Goddamn 100%. Yes. Is it the number one Photoshop? Yeah, even Photoshop. I'd say Photoshop and video editing software I recommend to all beginners that want to get into editing or even filmmaking like me, as a matter. Goddamn begging you to. This guy wasn't just my passion when it comes to gaming, it was my passion when it comes to editing, and then inadvertently, because, I had a fucking Blu-ray player, it was also my passion for film. This little bad boy could do everything. Which is why, you know what? though it's finally really exciting to get something good this year with a brand new console, I am going to miss this guy. I had a lot of fun with it. But it's also not to deny the fact that the other consoles weren't so bad either, and it's not like they didn't have anything else to offer. I mean, we all pretty much have forgotten at this point what the huge-ass disappointment that was the Wii U, but the Nintendo Switch ain't too shabby either. I would have actually ever thought that Nintendo would have literally made one of the biggest 360 comebacks in history with releasing one of the most unique and actually incredible consoles that I probably ever experienced. I mean, I haven't felt this much joy playing a console since the actual Nintendo Wii, or even dare say the GameCube, because, I could actually play with my friends on this damn thing, because, there's actually games that you can play with people. And even with that, we gotta give credit to, I know this might be absolute treasonous, cancerous, unholy words to say. I think the Xbox One deserves a little credit too. Oh, I haven't died yet. Okay, that's good. No, nothing bad yet. Good job. Going to my cousin's house and playing on the Xbox Game Pass and literally playing games that were in the original Xbox and Call of Duty Black Ops 2, something that the PlayStation 4 yet done for me, that I had to get a gaming laptop for, is something I can never do more than thank yous and gracias to the Xbox One. So you had one of everything. Something new and something fresh for each single kind of console this generation. And that's really just something you don't really see. The 7th generation, you could say, was kind of like that, but I mean, let's be real. The PS3 and 360 were pretty much the exact same thing, pretty much neck and neck by the end. Exact same HD consoles that can run 1080p, 30 frames per second. All the big AAA games were running while Nintendo was doing their own weird ass thing, whatever the hell motion controls were by the end of it. And then, yada yada, it's really been like that for, I'd even say, the last 3 to 4 generations of gaming, if you look back into its history. This generation has really been one that every single kind of fan had something to look forward to. And it's just something I really hope they keep on for the next generation. But that's enough nostalgia for today. That's enough nostalgia, unfortunately, for a while, because there's really nothing good to look back to anymore for the rest of this year. So now, let's get on with the new stuff. What do we know officially about the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X? Surprisingly, they're actually quite similar. Both are going to be beasts of machines that are going to be running 4K games at 120 frames per second. Holy fuck, how is that going to look on my TV? But running on AMD processors, but the big but difference is that the Xbox Series X is apparently already experimenting with the possibility of running on 8K games. Though the PS5 does have the capability as well, it's most likely already been confirmed that it's really just going to be playing upscaled 8K games with lower frame rates. Still quite impressive, but the Xbox Series X right now officially is definitely the one going with the max potential of what the 9th generation can bring when it comes to gaming in specs. But another thing that unfortunately these consoles are going to have kind of an annoying issue with at release is that really actually two things. First, now officially, it seems to have been mostly confirmed by like every other developer and every single leak that we've gotten for all the new releases, is that games officially are now having this ginormous $10 rise in price. Now that games have just become so goddamn expensive a beast to develop, that I'm quite sure it's officially now surpassed, at least for most AAA studios, even bigger than making actual films themselves. If I'm correct, it took Red Dead Redemption 2 about $400 million to make. Do not quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm quite 85% positive that it was at least in the $300 million. That is an insane amount of money. I don't think Christopher Nolan has that much money to make fucking any of his movies. With that being said, with a higher price tag, hopefully this encourages developers to finally work harder on these games, because especially right now, there's not a lot of people with $70 to throw out. We are in desperate need of money for our food. And then, with that being said, we come to the next big price point. Speaking about prices of game discs, we go into the big thing that I think really affects everyone ultimately, so this should have been the last thing, but whatever. I'm doing it this way. The prices of the consoles themselves. Officially right now, as we speak today, being September 11th, very bad day to pick this, to do this video, but officially today of September 11th, officially, there's only been the official reveal of the Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S price points. The Xbox Series X will officially be $500 at launch, and the big one that absolutely blew everyone's socks off, including my own, the Xbox Series S, the second cheaper edition of the 9th generation console, will be only $300. at launch. No bargain deal, no Black Friday special, no you have to buy this game or get something with it. Base console itself, everything included, $300. That's pretty goddamn big. Yeah. I mean, really, think about it. When have you ever heard of a brand new console, HD 4K? Okay, admittedly, the big selling point of the Xbox Series S is that it's not really, the max potential of the 9th generation. The Xbox Series X is the big, older, mature brother. The Xbox Series S is the lower powered, but still quite impressive piece of machinery itself. It's more powerful than the 8th generation consoles for sure already, especially my PS4 right here. It's going to be running native 2K graphics at 120 frames per second. Also, 4 upscaled 4K games at 60 frames. So it's pretty much the same thing that everyone is wanting for in the 9th generation for $200 less. I'm not even an Xbox fan. I've never owned an Xbox in my life. Now I want one. Mom, can I get an Xbox? As of Friday night of September 11th, we really have no official price point revealed yet by Sony. However, there have been leaks that seeming now, because of that huge bomb that was dropped with the Xbox Series S, PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Digital Edition will be getting a serious cut in the prices. Right now, the big theory that's going around that seems to be mostly confirmed by most reporters at this point, so I think I'm fine in saying this, the full edition of the PS5, which the one I plan on getting, will be $500, and the digital edition of the PS5 will be $400. Originally, it was planned apparently to be $600 and $500, so they really have taken a huge price cut. They are really getting their balls busted by Microsoft right now. These guys are ruthless. And with that, we come to the number one point. The games. What the hell are we going to be playing for these next few months, still in Trump's America's quarantine? Next few months, and even possibly next year if this quarantine gets that bad. What do they got in for us? And this is actually the main reason, as I said earlier, why I still plan on getting the PS5. As much as I still said I'm without a doubt impressed at Microsoft's just absolutely brutal marketing tactics and brutal price tag that has even gotten me, a loyal PlayStation fan since 2012, now considering and even planning in the future, once I get enough spare cash to buy myself a Series S, it's really up to the games. Facts are facts. No matter how impressive and how much of a beast your console is, technically, if they don't have the games, the main thing would buy these things in the first place to come with. I mean, why do you think the Switch is selling so well? Not just that it's quite cheap, it's not that it's a quite unique console, it's something that the Wii U didn't have. It had games. And not just first-party games, but quite now, finally, once and for all, Nintendo's joined the third-party library. They're finally competing with the big boys. And the fact is, right now, Xbox really does not have many games coming out at launch, and even for a while. The number one system seller that was going to be coming out at launch was Halo Infinite. The final, supposedly final, I might be wrong about that, but as far as everything's going around, the final Halo game that's going to be coming out for the Xbox Series, that has been there since the literal beginning of this console's birth, will finally be coming out for release, until it officially got delayed for 2021. Like all the great things in 2020. Which, you know what? I gotta give them credit. Quality over quantity. They want to take their time to perfect this game. But that was really the one big exclusive that was gonna get people to go buy an Xbox. And now they don't have it. So many other games that could be coming out. I mean, this pretty much shows I don't really know much about the Xbox itself. It's really the big one that everyone's been talking about, Halo, that has now been delayed. So aside from that, there's really not, in general, been a huge exclusive that was planned to be coming out for the Xbox. I think Gears of War is getting another sequel, but that as well is not even confirmed yet, so we're not really getting anything at launch when it comes to the Xbox side. Aside from price, and aside from, yes, thank God, because it's backwards compatible, an absolute beast of library from even the original Xbox lineup to be able to play for a while, there's just not much new things to try out. On the other hand, Miles Morales, Ratchet & Clank, Resident Evil 8, Horizon Zero Dawn, Gran Turismo 7, fucking The Last of Us 2 Remastered, because that will apparently be backwards compatible. All those 7 beasts of games are literally going to be available at launch. At least around the week of launch. That's still close enough. I mean, come on, man. That's just too good of a library to deny. And you know what? Maybe it's because I'm a PlayStation fanboy, whatever. Call me out in the comments, but I've literally grown up with this damn thing. Give me a break. What do you expect? These series, in the first place, is already something I've been in love with. I've grown up with these franchises. I've told you how much I've loved the first Last of Us. I've literally, even though I still have not beat it to this day, have spent at least a good 20 hours playing Spider-Man, and I don't regret any little bit of it. Ratchet and Clank, I remember having incredible memories when I used to live in Peru and play with one of my best friends, Angel, for hours at his birthday party on the PS3. Nothing but good memories. Why the hell would I get rid of it now? Because Xbox just managed to drop their price a little bit. It's too good of a fucking lineup to let go, man. Exclusives aside, I mean, Black Ops Cold War looks absolutely fantastic, and if Modern Warfare was any sign of it, it seems like finally Activision and the developers have finally got their shit together for Call of Duty. The beautiful Keanu Reeves coming with us with Cyberpunk. Fucking, what else is coming out that's big? I mean, aside from those two, the Avengers game doesn't look too bad. It kind of crashed on my system, that's why I don't really want to think of it or bring it up at all, motherfucker. But aside from that, those are really the big games that everyone's really going to be talking about for a while. At least for sure, my friends that are going to be talking about for a while. Which is why at the end, if you guys want to know what console I've decided to get, I'm still going for the PS5. I mean, unless tomorrow if the Xbox Series S gets another huge drop or a huge game that I've really been interested in is planned to be released, or Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 get an HD remaster collection, or the third game finally gets announced to come out on the Series S, I can dream. I'm not changing sides. And even with that incredible dream is probably not going to happen. So I'm sticking with the PS5, man. I've been loyal to PlayStation for all these years. They have not let me down. They have rewarded me for my loyalty, have given me nothing but good memories, incredible experiences, all these last 7 years alone. PS5 is just too good of a deal. But even with what I just said, Nintendo's apparently even releasing a next-gen console soon to come with that. They've given me a damn good 2 years alone with the Nintendo Switch as well. And the Xbox One, as I've already said, has still had quite an impressive redemption these last few years. And people, I think, with especially these incredible price points and the great library you can even play at launch, I think Xbox is going to have plenty of people that are patient enough to wait. I know I'll be joining them soon. Because, I mean, the Series S is too good to look away from. But guys, that is pretty much everything we know so far when it comes to the 9th generation of gaming, the new consoles, the new games, the big releases, the big changes, everything that we know so far as of September of 2020. Now we just pretty much gotta wait. Honestly, at this point, I'm so desperate. I mean, I was already excited when the Series X got officially announced that we finally knew that this was coming, but now that we've just been through so much shit this year, especially myself, I really need this, man. This has been a really hard year, a lot of tests, a lot of soul searching, a lot of realizations and reminders of what I want to do for the rest of my life, that I really just need something like this. Just bring me that hope again. Something that's not just good, something that's of this time. And just having a goddamn good time with my best buds on GTA, probably killing a lot of hookers. We're really fucked up people. But that's what gaming has always been to me. It was one of my first loves, one of my first realizations that I'm just a really big geek for entertainment. I just really love this stuff, and maybe I should do something with my life with it. It didn't end up stealing my heart. That ended up being the guys back there. But gaming will still always be there for me whenever I'm down, whenever I'm stressed, whenever I just want to have a really good time. Instead of going to a party and socializing, why don't you just socialize online with some random nerds online? Play a good game. That's what I hope these consoles do for me. That's all I really want them to ever do. The prices are impressive, the graphics look absolutely stunning, but at the end of the day, if Keanu Reeves is a badass in Cyberpunk, isn't that just all that matters? That's all I gotta say. Thank you all for watching this video. This is honestly something I've been really wanting to do for a while, and now that the final price leaks of the PS5 seem to be official, I felt like it was officially right to do a video like this. Anyone just gonna stick to PC? I know some of you guys are. I'm looking at you, Kev. Let me know in the comments down below. I'd honestly really be interested, especially in a topic like this, to discuss something fun, just something really exciting to be coming out soon. And I'll see you guys in a month and a half. Let's see what they have to offer. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a lovely day. Stay safe, everyone. See you guys.